Welcome to Game of Roses. This is Pace Case.
I'm Bachelor Clues, and this is This Week in Bachelor Nation, aka Twibbin. Thank you for joining us. It is Friday. Mm-hmm. That means the end
We're
of
still here.
Oh, yeah. It's been 48 hours or 72 hours, I guess. We are still on this planet. We are still in this plane of existence. Mm-hmm. And today we're going to be bringing you all of the news from around Bachelor Nation. We're going to be bringing you the top 5 parasocial plays of the week from within Bachelor Nation. We have some screams from the pit, of course. We have gains. We're going to be talking about the ratings of last week's Golden Bachelorette episode. That was Fantasy Suites. And we're going to be talking about the state of the game. A very interesting state of the game after last night. We're recording this on Thursday. So last night's Golden Bachelorette Men Tell All revealed some very interesting things. And we're going to be talking about that in State of the Game. But before we get to any of that, Pace Case, we got some business.
Yes, we do. We have holiday merch dropping soon. We are going to have wrapping paper and a special edition 2020 Gornament. Keep an eye on our social media for the official drop to start your holiday shopping. It's always best to start in November. Then the season lasts 2 months, which is why I have already put out Christmas decorations.
Have you
That's
really?
what I did yesterday.
As has my
Some
mom.
of us have different self-care that we have been performing the last couple days.
Yeah, my mom has done this as well, as has our mutual friend Amy.
As has my mother.
Nice. All the moms.
I said, about to start Christmas decorating. She said, already doing it. Sent a photo.
Already done did that.
Receipts.
Well, that's nice. If you're starting your Christmas decorations and shopping now, more power to you. And more power to the people who all came out to our watch parties. What's that?
Puzzling is the other thing I've been doing.
Oh, nice. Riddle me this. Thank you to everybody who's been coming out. Not like that.
A physical puzzle.
Oh, I see. Oh, wow. Nice. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see the fruits of Pace Case's puzzling labors. Thank you for everyone who was coming out to our watch parties during Golden Bachelorette this season at 33 Taps in West Hollywood. We're going to have one more of them next week. Next Wednesday night is the big finale. Pace Case and I will not be there. We are at home, chained to our televisions, watching along with everybody else because we don't get screeners for the big live finale. So we got to watch them as it airs so that we can report back with our recap the following day, which we will have up for you. But please, come out of 33
cool if
Taps.
We got screeners of the lives beforehand.
I mean, technically,
if we were psychic.
Technically, if you're starting to get into some of the quantum theory that's being bandied about these days, technically it may be possible at some point in the near future, but not now. Well, time doesn't exist. Look, I mean, I didn't want to get into this. I didn't want to get into all this early in the program, but space-time is not real. Nothing we see or experience is actual. I can just
Would you call this not a minutia, but like a maxutia? Like, oh, you've gone too far.
I've gone too far, haven't gone far enough. Once we accept that space-time isn't real, it means the fundamental laws of physics that we think are essentially science's way of explaining reality, they actually just describe this fake environment that we're, in quotes, existing in. That's a bit of business for you.
I think you could get cast on 90 Day Fiancé. There's a woman who really reminds me of you on Before the 90 Days.
Renee? Please. Have you gotten to the part where she goes, let the chickens live?
Yes, I got to let the chickens live.
That's like an iconic line. If you're not watching 90 Day the other way.
It's pretty good.
You got to be doing that now. We should also mention.
She also has like all these collections. That's Clusian. Other things.
Doesn't she have a collection of knives?
Not the anger.
Yeah. Look, I mean, I'll thank you for comparing me to anybody from that franchise because I love it so much. We should also mention that next up in Clues Corner, I'm about to conclude Love Island Season 6, and what a fucking ride it has been. I have loved every moment of it. It really has been mind-blowing to see play at that level, to see production at that level, editing, music, all of it. It's a perfectly made show. But I'm about to wrap it up.
It's a pleasure to watch you go through it.
Oh, thank you very much.
And every episode, Clues is like, it's a perfect show.
Yeah.
This is the best show ever.
It really is.
It's amazing to watch.
It's fantastic. And I've loved it. And I thank everybody for joining me on Patreon to watch along with me as I'm breaking it down
and thank you, Lizzie,
seeing it for the first time. Yes,
for telling me to watch Love Island.
Thank you for
years.
dragging me into that pit. Yeah. But up next in Clues Corner is going to be by popular demand. And by popular demand, I mean we had a poll. And the winner of that poll for the next Clues Corner event is going to be Bachelor Pad Season 1, which is now on Hulu. So I'm going to be watching that entire season, which I don't even think I saw all of it. I watched some of it as it aired 12 years ago. How old is that show? It's a long time ago.
I watched all of it, but I can't remember any of it.
Yeah,
the only things I remember are like clips that still show today, like the princess getting egged in that challenge.
God, right. Was that season 1 though?
I don't know.
I don't know either. But anyway, that's what I'm going to be watching. So if you want to watch along with me, please come to patreon.com/gameroses and get in that pit with me. Now, Pace Case, let's start our program. This is... Oh.
Wait, I have one piece of Pace Case business.
Please.
We have the start of Silo Season 2 on HBO Max starting next week.
Wow.
So watch that season. Catch up now. It's going to be fantastic. I watched the first season and then I instantly went and listened to all 3 books.
Yeah, I read the books, but I never watched the shows.
They're both good.
Well, there you have it. That's what's going on.
Follow us on HBO Max.
In our
what's
business
going on in Necessary Conversation,
section.
I wonder, this week.
Yeah. Well, for those who may not know, I do another podcast with my family, my sister and my 2 parents. My sister is also very left-leaning in her social and political views of this form of existence that we all believe is real, not me. And my parents are not. My parents are hardcore MAGA, or Majah, as we call them on the show.
Majah.
And we do a podcast every Sunday talking about the big political issues of the week. This week is obviously going to be a doozy. So if you want to tune in to see what that kind of conversation sounds like, if you're in a familial situation that is maybe similar to that, where you and your siblings are on the left side of things and your parents are not, maybe this conversation can, I don't know, reflect some of what's going on in your life. Yeah, exactly.
Cut the crap, Chad. Cut the crap.
I'm sure I'll talk about this on Necessary Conversation, but I'll read you a series of text messages that I got from my father on the night of the election very late. And for context,
that's so good.
My father does not text me ever. Prior to this,
PTC.
In fact, was a text message that says only happy birthday from 2021. So that should give you some idea.
A few year gap there.
So
who ghosted whom, I wonder.
I don't know. I guess he ghosted me. On
it's
Tuesday,
always the parent ghosting the child.
I know. It's sad state of affairs. On Tuesday night at 10:27 p.m., he texts me, "It's over." And then I text back an hour and a half later, roughly, after I had just done a Clues Corner watching Love Island. I haven't looked at the internet in a few hours, but it was looking bad earlier. My dad then says he won next prez. I then say all the things I'm looking at have him at 267 electoral votes. No one has called it yet for him just yet, but he does have slight leads in the swing states. And then my dad says he has Penn 270. Your news sucks. Done deal.
Your news sucks.
You can stop the crap.
Deal.
And then I go, what crap? And he says, denial.
You can stop the crap. Stop the crap, Chad.
If that conversation sounds familiar to you, you might enjoy the Necessary Conversation coming out Sunday afternoon. Look for it on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. Now let's begin
Put
this
that text
program.
message in the Louvre.
I'll post it. I'll post it somewhere. Now, Pace Case, are you ready to do the show this week in Bachelor Nation?
Yes, but also happy birthday for all those years in between Clues. You deserve a happy birthday.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Now let's move on to
Game of Roses. State of the game.
All right, so we witnessed last night Charles L. was all but given the crown.
Yes.
They conscripted a bystander
Paid
in the audience.
actor.
I don't know if they paid her or not. I think she might have
You
just
think
been
that was just a bystander?
Yeah, because she looked a little nervous. She didn't look like a paid actor. It wasn't like the woman that came up to make out with Connor the Catman B. Do you remember that?
That's all I thought about during this whole episode.
That was a paid actor. This was not. This was a bystander.
No
and she
kiss.
stood up and she said, Charles, on behalf of Bachelor Nation, we all want you to be the next Golden Bachelor. He laughed. He also had a new hairdo going on. He had dyed the gray out of his hair to
great hair play.
Yeah, to appear more virile.
Get him talking.
And then she made a joke about, or you could date my mom. But the idea was presented by the producers who gave her that scripted line that Charles L. is the front runner for your next Golden Bachelor crown. I would say Jonathan was probably in the running, but we learned obviously in the Men Tell All, he is dating somebody.
Relationship reveal.
Right. So
a lot of people were upset about that.
At our watch party, they certainly were.
At our watch party, many people were upset.
Yeah, literally angry. People were throwing glasses
rooting
against
for
the wall.
him to, I guess, be the next lead or to just be single in general for the possibilities. But he had a lot of fans.
He did indeed. I would have loved him as a bachelor. But what it looks like is that we are going to get a Charles L. Bachelorhood. The second Golden Bachelor will likely, I think, be Charles Ling. That said, there is something that I think bears looking at in terms of the golden version of this franchise. The production cycle of Bachelor and Bachelorette is thus: Bachelor shoots in October and November. It airs in January. The Bachelorette is selected from that crop of players. So you're shooting in October and November. You then are laying low for a month or two. You're waiting for it to air for another month and a half, 2 months. So all told, you've got about, from shooting to final airing, you've got about 4.5 months that you have to remain single if you want to be the next Bachelorette. And generally speaking, you don't actually know if you are the next Bachelorette until the finale of that season of Bachelor. They usually announce it there. And in some cases, like with Gabby Windy and Rachel Recchia, that's literally when they found out the other one was going to be Bachelor. So sometimes you don't even, or be Bachelorette with her. Sometimes you don't literally know until that moment. But again,
sometimes they literally announce it and they grab your phone out of your pocket on the spot.
Do they really?
They say you're in isolation.
Right. They immediately lock you in a trunk and just haul you off. You can't see the world. But and Bachelor is even shorter because you shoot the next season of Bachelorette right on the heels of the airing of that season of Bachelor. So that season of Bachelor ends in March. You start shooting Bachelorette at the end of March, beginning of April, go through May, June. It airs in July. And then the Bachelor is selected from that pool. And you start shooting that season of Bachelor in late September, early October. So you're only ever having to wait in the main franchise a series of a handful of months before you're like in the show, dating, finding love, in quotes. Golden is a year cycle. They only do one Golden show per year. So there is no Bachelor, Bachelorette. There's just a Golden Bachelor, then a Golden Bachelorette the next year, then a Golden Bachelor the next year. That's the pattern that's emerging. So for any of these guys, they basically have to wait.
Do you think that will maintain? Or they would speed it up?
No, I think it'll be the same. Because where do you program it? They have tried to do programming with like, first season of Golden Bachelor is a good example. They did Golden Bachelor, and then on the same night, immediately after it, Paradise season 9 aired. Disaster. I don't think they like doing that. It does taint the ratings for you. No one does. It's too much. It's overkill. So I don't think they're going to do that.
It does lead to this huge gap in years. So we're seeing Jonathan from Gen Tran season has been asked to Paradise, but he has to stay single a year. Charles Ling is being maybe asked to be the Golden Bachelor, and he's going to have to stay single this whole time. Better stop going to all these weddings.
Yeah.
He's going to get snatched up.
No. You kidding me?
Look at him.
Charles L's out there going to weddings left and right, just getting some casual action. He's saying, look,
just doing wall play.
Yeah, I like you a lot. Unfortunately, I'm going to be the Golden Bachelor. So whatever happens tonight, it can be fun. We can have a great time, but we can't develop feelings for each other. Yeah. He's going to have friends with benefits all over the world. And then he's going to be Golden Bachelor. Now, I think he'll be able to withstand that year-long wait. I think he will do it. But when he gets into that season, he is a player really who's kind of unique. We haven't seen a player quite like him who is so for TRR, so innocent, seemingly, so wholesome, cute,
and
nice.
Innocent.
However you
Has
want to
there
put it.
ever been someone more innocent as a lead?
No.
No.
No. There never has been, no. And so what will the season look like for him? This is something that I have given way more thought to than necessary. What I want to see on Charles L's season is at least one player who is like a 65-year-old woman that was in the LA Hollywood, like heavy metal rock scene back in the 80s, seeing like
specific.
Motley Crue and Guns N' Roses playing at the Coconut Teaser, just like a wild child, super free spirit.
Like an LA FEMA.
Yes, like an LA FEMA, but like times 10. I want to see her come in there and just make him
divorces.
uncomfortable. You know what I mean? I think that would be so fucking good.
Like
just a bombshell.
A really strong chemistry player.
Yes, really strong chemistry player.
Charles is going to have WoW be part of his chemistry play. He's going to be like,
exactly.
wow.
Yes, exactly.
It's going to be so cute, but it is also it is going to be super interesting. Like, he definitely seems innocent, but there is this scripted element, like, did he really not know who Chris Harrison was? Is that, who Jesse Palmer is?
No, I think he's putting on an act a little bit. When you see him walking around like the mansion, for example, he's kind of conveying this idea of like an innocent babe in the woods who's never even seen a candle. That is insane.
We've never had a not seen a candle player before.
Exactly. And then the flip side of this is, at the tell-all, his daughter says, oh, we were at this wedding in London and he was cutting a rug out in the middle of the dance floor.
Sophia?
Is that his daughter's name?
Is that the daughter? I think so.
I don't remember his daughter's name, but we get footage of him literally dancing at this London wedding. And it's like, come on. He's got friends in London that are good enough that he's going to their wedding. He has the means to go to an international wedding. He's not as innocent as he appears, I think.
International man of mystery.
Yeah. Well, I think he's like worldly. He's
two
clearly
adult
got
daughters. Sophia. And I don't know the other one. I think Sophia is the one that was in the audience.
Yeah, it might have been. Anyways, I think he's putting on a little bit of an act, but I love the act. And what this will also mean, if this holds, and I think it will, clearly he's at the top of their list. He was the only person who even they were hinting at could be a bachelor. And they
were
again,
hinting
scripted
at Mark
that
Anderson
moment.
too. He got
Absolutely
a hot
not.
seat.
But they didn't get somebody from the audience saying, you should be the next Golden Bachelor. They made that moment try to seem like, oh my God, some crazy person in the audience is standing up and just screaming this out. That was all scripted. The producers decided to tell us he's the next Golden Bachelor in that moment. And again, there are circumstances outside of their control, but
they have that woman make a joke after, or date my mom. So it's a very interesting way that they would choose to intro a Charles Ling Golden Bachelor. I keep in my mind comparing him to Rob from Love Island USA season 6 of like his play style.
Okay.
Obviously, Rob is more of a fuckboy than Charles, but the kind of, are they doing some sort of artistic performance? I can't stop wondering about both play styles. And doing the oddest things with the set. And
everybody in any reality TV program is doing an artistic performance. Nobody
art.
in reality television is 100% exactly who they are. And I also believe nobody in reality TV is doing 100% a completely fabricated character. Everybody's somewhere in between. It's based on yourself, but it's pushed into an area of like TV characterness, because once those cameras are on you, like it affects you. It affects how you act. It affects everything you do. You are aware of the fact that people are shooting this and they are going to put it in a TV show. So maybe you're trying to be more entertaining or less mean or whatever the case may be. So I do think he's playing a little bit of a character, but it's a great fucking character.
And he would be the first Asian American Bachelor too. So
history would be made.
Yeah.
And I think that
history would be made in a lot of ways.
Absolutely. I would be very happy to see him as our next Golden Bachelor. I think it's going to happen. I think the show wants it. I think the producers want him. I think he wants to do it. And I think now it's just a matter of...
Yeah, are you kidding me? That hair play?
That 10-month window.
He's
Exactly.
ready.
The dyeing of the hair. They didn't force that on him. He was like, okay, let me show you what I got.
You think it's his idea?
To dye the hair?
Mm-hmm.
I think maybe it was suggested to him, but he did it. Everybody has agency over that type of shit. The show can't be like, listen, we'll make you the Golden Bachelor only if you dye your hair black.
They policed Rachel Lindsay's hair. They wouldn't let her wear braids for some televised thing.
But I think that era is
No, I think he's
over.
a genius. So I think it was his play. But
yeah. Well, we'll see. That's the state of the game. We have
they wouldn't
potentially
have left that in the document if they weren't pushing it. You know,
of course, left it in the document. They fucking wrote it into the document. They created the thing we saw.
They wouldn't have left that improv moment in the document.
Oh my God.
They didn't want it to happen. I'm just saying. He's exploded parasocially. He's a star. It's just like, to me, it seems like the easy decision.
Yeah.
You want the most charismatic person. You want the person that everyone supports their love story so much. He's got that PTC. Oh my God. He's got multiple PTCs. Oh, I'm excited.
Do you think on his season they will have one or more women whose husbands died from a stroke and also bit their tongues?
I hope that's all we have to hear about the tongue thing again.
Yeah. I think they should cast 20 women whose husbands all died of strokes. Everybody has the same PTC, even PTC playing field. We've never seen a season like that.
I think they should cast from whatever region he lives in. Where is he from?
Absolutely. I don't know. I don't remember.
They got to cast just from that region of the U.S. I'm sick of these stains on love clues. We need relationships that are going to last.
Hang on. I'll find this out for you right now. Charles L.
What are you finding out?
Is from Philadelphia, PA.
Okay. Pennsylvania widows. Come forth.
We'll see.
And
but that's
the one LA icon.
Well, she could have, spent her 20s in LA doing that thing and then moved to Pennsylvania after she got married to some lawyer or banker or something.
Kid.
Yeah. And so she's got her family there and stuff. Yeah. All of them. Her husband also died of a stroke, and now she's reacquainted herself with her love for Guns N' Roses, and she's kind of like Guns N' Roses lifestyle, like always wearing Guns N' Roses t-shirts, always using the lyrics of the songs. Like when they go into the fantasy suite, she's like, "Take me down to Paradise City."
Let's go.
You know what I'm saying? All right. That's our state of the game.
I want to see someone who knows even less about TV than Charles. Someone try to out innocent Charles. I would like to see that
knows less
as a
about
character.
TV. He was quoting Charles in Charge. He knows more about TV than
I'm
you do.
I'm saying the way he's like, I didn't sign up. I didn't know Desi Power.
Yeah. I want to see him only speak in quotes from Charles in Charge, Scott Baio and Willie Ames back and forth. So that's what I want to see him recreate. All right. That's our state of the game. Oh Thank you for...
Wait, by the way, sorry. You say they didn't do anything for Mark Anderson. What about my play of the game? The Post-it. You think they would have left the Post-it play in?
They put the Post-it play didn't make the main game.
I know, but they put it in this.
But that was more about Jonathan.
Tears.
It was more about Jonathan than it was about him. I'm not saying that wasn't a great play.
I don't know.
Listen, it was a fantastic play. I'm not discrediting that at all. I just don't think Mark Anderson has the same juice that Charles L does right now. Mark Anderson, you can like him. He's a, what do they say, a DILF, all of this, right? I get it. He's dad of Bachelor Nation royalty. I get it. Grazie Day was there saying, I can't wait to be a part of your family. I get it. Unfortunately, he was a little boring. Unfortunately, he talks like this all the time. Then I left 2 Post-it notes in Jonathan's coffee mug. Do you want to see my Post-it notes? We don't want to see that as a season. I don't think he delivers the entertainment value that a Charles L does. I can imagine a Mark Anderson season.
What are the Mark Anderson jokes?
He dressed up in a shark costume and tried to bite her. That was it. I get what that season would be like, and I think it would be very boring. I think it would almost be a kind of Joan-esque season in terms of his dealings with any of these women. Charles L is going to give you entertainment in every situation. Imagine Charles L watching some kind of forced violence group date where the women all have to play some sport against each other. Imagine Charles L.
He just says, wow.
Yeah. Oh, wow. They're playing that pickleball game so crazy. Oh, wow. I want to see it so bad. Just imagine like all of it. Imagine him presenting these women with fantasy suite cards. Imagine him going into a fucking fantasy suite. Like Mark Anderson.
I'm going to cry so much. Like there's going to be like, they're going to have so many 4TRR players on it.
Yeah.
It's
hell yeah.
Be,
hell yeah. Imagine.
And you're just, you're rooting for him so hard.
This doesn't really happen in Golden, or hasn't happened yet, but imagine like a real rivalry. Imagine a villain situation. Imagine a tattle situation. Somebody tattling to Charles L versus to Mark Anderson. Mm-hmm. Mark Anderson is just like, I get it. It's very by the book. There's nothing nuanced or interesting there, in my opinion, for a TV show. He seems like a great guy. I hope he finds the love and all that kind of stuff. I'm not, saying anything negative about him. I'm just saying in terms of like being an anchor for a season, Charles L is going to give you the most entertaining season between those two guys.
I think you want to pick the most charismatic person from the season.
Yeah, I do too.
And the person people are going to root for the most. But they do. It's not the safest choice, obviously, Mark Anderson is the type that they would normally cast.
I agree.
They've
already done it. Yeah. He's like a Gary to me. He's like a little bit of a younger, hotter Gary.
I mean, okay, whoa. Gary catching strays.
Come on. When
Gary
people saw Mark Anderson and Joey Grazie
on TikTok, though.
Exactly. Nor did he get it in the show. Look, anyway, that's our state of the game. We believe Charles L is the next Golden Bachelor. We can't wait for it, but we have to about a year. Now we're moving on to
This Week in
Games. All right, so we have some more bad news about the ratings of the Golden Bachelorette. We have the ratings from the Fantasy Suite episode last week. It pulled a 0.26 in the 18 to 49-year-old demo, rendering the lowest rating this season. The Fantasy Suites, I'll repeat, had the lowest rating of any episode this season. Now, interestingly, they did beat one show across network TV from last week. A rerun of Chicago Med on NBC only pulled a 0.25. So they beat them by 0.01 in the 18 to 49-year-old demo.
Repeat.
But they got crushed by Survivor on CBS with a 0.57. And of course, the World Series Game 5, when the Dodgers won on Fox, pulled in just to let you know who's out there, what kind of numbers can you actually get? We're always talking about 0.2, 0.3. The World Series got a 4.25. 18 million viewers. FYI.
Well, do we blame this on No Beds Vassos? What do we... Or it's probably the World Series.
Yeah.
Really.
I mean, yeah, maybe it's the World Series. Clearly that had an effect, but like still you're looking at these things comparatively. Like all of these were down a little bit. Survivor was down as well, but Survivor still crushed Bachelor.
Yeah.
I mean, just crushed it, doubled its rating. I think yeah.
Well, what's not in Toilet City, though, is Joan Vassos's Instagram gains. Another accurate pace case prediction. She did join the 100K club this week. Clues said she would not. She put on 6.1K Instagram followers, bringing her to 104K Instagram followers total. Let's go.
Yeah, that is pretty good to see. I do like it. Congrats to Vassos on that. She also crossed the 100K mark on TikTok.
She's worked for it.
She had a gain of 13.2K this week, bringing her to 108.9K total on TikTok. So she's in the 100K club in both major social media platforms. Congrats.
This didn't make the top 5 parasocial plays, but she did a reel or a TikTok in which she did her before getting ready for Men Tell All and after, and it slayed.
Yeah,
it was.
She's very good.
Sexy.
She's very, very good at social media. She's way better than Gary Turner. No offense.
I mean, yes, I would think we can safely say that. And now for the top Instagram gains this week. Coming in at number 5, our guy, the next Golden Bachelor, Charles Ling, gained 1.1K on Instagram.
Guy Gansert, the Las Vegas, Nevada restraining order dabbler, got 1.5K gain this week.
Third place goes to Mark Anderson. He gained 2.2K this week.
And you know Chalk's up there rocking around, jacking up with 0.35K. 3.5K, sorry.
Not even in the document. And 5.9K, our first place person, went to Pascal Ibgui, gaining the most out of anyone by a lot. Interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting.
The
Chalk
watch
was
party
in the document,
were not
by the
fans.
Way. Yeah. Chalk was barely in the document, but he was in the teaser for next week, shirtless.
Okay. Yeah.
Moving on to
barely
the top 5 Instagram chart overall. Guy Gansert is in 5th place with 7,787 luscious followers.
4th place is the Frenchman with the underwear, Pascal Ibgui, with 16.3K on Instagram.
Chalk's clocking in with 24K in 3rd place.
2nd place goes to Charles Ling at 37.4K.
And the whisperer, Mark Anderson, is in 1st place with 39.1K. I think over time, that fades. I think over time, even before Golden Bachelor is announced, I think Charles overtakes him in time.
I mean, they're close. 1.5K away. That's like one viral TikTok away.
Yeah, I'm actually wrong about that because Mark Anderson's going to have probably an appearance on Dancing with the Stars if Joey wins it, and it's looking like that's possible. I don't know.
Really?
Yeah.
Good for him.
Yeah. But that wraps up.
When we find Kelsey.
She'll be there. We don't know where she is now. She was not at the Men Tell All. This is a mystery to us. We hope she's okay. Kelsey, if you're out there, make a post. Let us know.
Start posting, Kelsey. She did post.
Oh, did she?
To it.
Oh, no, you're right. I read that. How stupid of me. She is alive and
you're not
seemingly well. We'll get to it. Now, let's move on to all those
Melania
tids.
Situation, I think.
What? You think she's getting paid per kiss?
No, the walking around with the sunglasses. Is it her?
That shit did not look like her. And why? The sunglasses inside. Why no speaking? Why just waving?
The sunglasses really, I think, is the main part, but yeah.
Melania's buried on a golf course.
Let's find out what's going on in the nation.
This is Bachelor Nation News.
First up in Bachelor Nation news, the New York City Marathon was last weekend, and as usual, the nation showed up with their running shoes on. New York City influence player Zach Clark pounded the grimy Big Apple pavement for the 10th year in a row and raised money for his foundation, Release Recovery, a nonprofit dedicated to helping people struggling with substance abuse get the help they need.
The 5-part PTC maestro took to Instagram to share a pic of the moment he crossed the finish line, along with a caption that read, 10 in a row. I love NYC. 3:16:43 felt good. My best for NYC. Thank you, volunteers, fans, New York Roadrunners, and my Release family. 2024 NYC Marathon finish line. Felt it all.
The second crown of Bachelorette season 16 and one half of the now defunct Ultimate Girl Gang, Tayshia Adams, ran the marathon for a second time and posted some photos from the race with a caption that read, yesterday was absolutely unreal, ! Completing my second at NYC Marathon was one of my biggest accomplishments yet.
Popeye was there. You heard us correctly. Your season 24 Bachelor Peter Weber jogged around, oh my God, the dirtiest city in America. And then after finishing the marathon, Popeye posted a video, NYC catching strays in this one, a video sharing his overall time as well as his ideal post-race meal, which was SponCon for Raising Cane's. The caption read, there's one right answer for a victory meal after running a marathon, and that answer is Raising Cane's.
But that wasn't the only video Popeye found himself in while he was in the dirtiest city in America. Another video of the scar-headed Bringer Homer tour usser surfaced on a TikTok account featuring Weber in a New York City bar chatting up none other than the Bachelorette that never was, Maria Georges. Dating rumors have been properly sparked, but at this time, they are only rumors. Congrats to all the marathon
They may be
runners.
only rumors, but I ship.
Me too. That would be interesting. Very interesting. Next up, Bachelor Nation news. Are the Bachelorette
both
that
on
never...
Traders.
What's that?
Put them both on Traders, you cowards.
I think Peter Weber will be back in Traders when they do their first All-Star season. For sure. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see them both play. Be interesting to see her in anything else. What is next for her? Anyways, Next up in Bachelor Nation news are the Golden Bachelorette that never was, Leslie Fima, and Mr. Legs himself, fourth place finisher from the current inaugural season of Golden Bachelorette, Jordan Heller, basking in the warm glow of nascent romance? No, at least not yet.
The most disappeared man in the history of Golden. The mist man. The most disappeared man in the history of Golden Tell-Alls and the former romantic partner of the rock star, formerly known as Prince, made waves in the nation last month when they posted pics in matching LAFC jerseys in a private suite at a Los Angeles Football Club game.
Pouring water on the burgeoning flames in the rumor mill, Fima appeared on the Almost Famous podcast where she said, quote, I'm not dating Jordan. I met Jordan. Jordan had a suite at the soccer game in LA last week. His childhood friend is like the president of the club, and he had a suite, and he invited me. Fima was in the home of the LA Icons to attend a taping of Dancing with the Stars to support gaze master Joey Graziadei and the target of some of the worst producing in the rich history of our beloved game, Jen Tran.
Fima didn't close the door on possibly something romantic coming from this LA rendezvous, saying, we have been texting a little bit. Just because we're older doesn't mean we're stupid. And she admitted they are still in golden contact. For me, I don't know where it would go if it's going to go. I just think he's a great guy, and to be friends with him first is fine with me.
As for the nation, we will always wonder what an inaugural Leslie Fima Golden Bachelorette season might have looked like, and these pics with Mr. Legs might be the closest we'll ever get.
The sweet life of Fima and Jordan.
Oh, nice. See what you did there.
Could be your show.
Yeah.
Up next in Bachelor Nation news, we switch gears and move into the NRU with some revelations about the self-proclaimed Henry Cavill lookalike of Love is Blind Season 7, Nick Dorca. At the reunion, Dorca's fiancée in the game, Hannah Giles, accused him of calling her a grenade, an accusation he vehemently denies.
Dorca made an appearance on Free Spirit player Caitlin Bristow's podcast Off the Vine this week to say, quote, "I never called her a grenade. I'd never call someone a grenade. I did tell Ramses and Garrett off camera in guy talk I was a little underwhelmed by how she looked."
Guy talk. Oh my gosh.
I mean,
guy talk.
Jesus
Grenade
Christ.
is such a specific word that it's like so hard to believe this wasn't used.
But it also is like jumping on the grenade refers to something very specific that is, and it can apply to any gender. That's when you're out with your friend at a bar, a party, whatever, and your friend is trying to hook up with, get more time with somebody at that location, and they need you to peel off their friend so that they don't get blocked, basically. That's what a grenade is. It's jumping on the grenade.
But the grenade thing is like specifically that person is ugly, and that if they sleep
less
with them, it's
desirable.
like jumping on a grenade.
Correct.
Like it's like a body shaming.
Yeah.
It's a mean thing.
Absolutely. There's no question about that.
Hannah also claimed during the reunion special that she read Nick's private journal in which he attempted to manifest becoming the most famous Love is Blind player of all time, an admission that was used to paint him as 4TWR. Villain. Of his desire to be famous, Dorca said on Bristow's podcast, I do own it. I say on the reunion that I did write it. If you did a lie detector test with everyone on there and they didn't want to get famous off of it, cool. Like, you're lying. Everyone does.
Thank you, Mr. Dorca, for saying what needs to be said.
Let's go.
Anybody who's ever gone on any reality TV show, no matter what the premise is, whether it is Big Brother, Survivor, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire Island, whatever, or Deal or No Deal Island, sorry, or it's a love show like Bachelor, like Love is Blind, like Love Island, being famous, you know that's a possibility. It's a television program. You know that going in. Anybody who says, I just came here to find love, I never even thought about being famous, delete your Instagram. Moving on. Finally, in Bachelor Nation news. Thank you. I did. Third place finisher from Joe Fletcher's Bachelorette Season 12. Chase McNary will soon be a sire. The BIP Season 6 survivor announced the news of his impending progeny via a joint Instagram post with his civilian wife, Ellie White. The post was a reel that featured the soon-to-be parents taunting in cowboy head regalia made by the designer hat brand run by his wife, White herself.
Smart. In the Instagram reel, McNary kisses the soon-to-be mother of his replacement on this plane of existence, then turns her hat toward the viewer to reveal sonogram photos tucked in the brim. The hat also featured embossed text that read, Baby McNary 2025.
Some modern era players from the nation made good on the opportunity to render comments on the post, with the journeyman Chris Bukowski typing out, "Let's go." 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 O's. Congrats to you both and the Dolman. Adam Gottschalk fired off his comment from the source itself. Congrats, guys. You're going to be great parents. Heart hands emoji. Heartwarming. That wraps up all those tits fit to print. What?
I guess.
All right. That wraps up all those tits fit to print. Now it's time to move on to
the Parasocial play of the week.
Election results are in. Many players from the nation decided to operate as fence players this week, either not posting or generically posting to try to get out the vote in order to not lose followers on social media from either side. But a select few chose to share their political views. Our top 5 parasocial plays begin with her. Number 5 is Rachel Lindsay. She made a reel about phone banking for Kamala Harris and registering people to vote. This reel got 8.5K likes, 144,000 views.
Damn. Well, she may be missing from last night's Men Tell All. Kelsey Anderson was not missing Parasocial. She posted a 1.5-minute video of herself and a scary Halloween clown. Oh, I saw this. Horror Nights terrorizing her paramour, Joey Graziadei, via tongue play. Graziadei tries to run away, but Anderson teams up with the demon over and over to scare him again and again, including one time when the clown crawls fast across the ground like a spider to Joey, and once where he brushes Anderson's hair with what looks to be a child's hairbrush. 171.3K likes and 908K views. This was great. I loved it.
I went last year and it was too scary. I did not return this year. So this was very relatable to me from Joey.
Our friend Amy, who I've mentioned in this very program, she used to work on Ellen DeGeneres' show, and she sometimes would be on camera, and they would send her out to do haunted houses because she goes, like, she cannot take it. She screams, all of that. And it's very funny. So I always think of her whenever I talk about.
Go check those out. Amy Rhodes on Ellen Haunted House.
You will not be disappointed.
They are funny.
Yeah.
I scream too. It's not enjoyable for me. They target me and I don't like it.
Yeah. They find the weak ones.
They do. Our number 3 parasocial play of the week goes to former Crown Charity Lawson. She slayed her way to the voting booth this week in a quick reel of her arriving at her voting place in a business casual outfit. The Chiron reads, pulling up to vote in a swing state, blue heart emoji, voting box emoji. The caption reads, the GA peach emoji is back. Georgia polls hate to see me coming this morning, but too much is on the line. Happy Election Day and hope you have all exercised your right to vote. Red heart emoji, American flag emoji, blue heart emoji. My stories has voting info and resources if needed at Fashion Nova. Office perks romper set. Hashtag Election Day. Hashtag election. 393,000 views.
Coming in as our number 2 parasocial play of the week, real life hero, Matt James filmed himself chasing down the person who stole his bike. I saw this one too, and confronted the thief via TikTok. Matt James left his bike.
This would have been a winner any other week.
It was unreal. He's doing like, what is it? Citizens on Patrol type shit. Matt James left his bike unattended for a quick smoothie run, only to find it had vanished. He then used his tech skills to track down the thief in real time like an action hero with an app, intercepting the thief mid-ride. He calmly yet passionately schooled the guy, saying, don't take people's things. After thanking the unsuspecting delivery driver who helped him chase down his wheels, Matt rode off triumphantly, probably wondering if he should just Uber his smoothies from now on. I love to see that one.
Incredible play.
Yeah. He solved a crime.
I mean, I would be too scared. Especially, it's not even his bicycle. It's a city bike.
Yeah.
In the dirtiest city in the planet, according to clues.
Not in the planet, but in the United States.
All of these were strong plays. However, there can only be one winner. Our top number 1 parasocial play of the week goes to Charles Ling. Charles is in charge of the internet. His first contribution to the TikTok art form struck us 2 days ago as he danced in a viral TikTok to a Natalie Nunn Paren's Bad Girls Club OG song in his very first TikTok post. And as of yesterday, he has 7.7K followers on TikTok. In this video, he dances, he grabs his own butt, and he vamps. 136.6K likes for this video, 1.2 million views.
Top that, Mark Anderson.
Wowee.
You know what Mark Anderson should do to combat this? He should launch a TikTok that is ASMR. Hi, I'm Mark Anderson. Today I'll be unwrapping cellophane packaged Xbox games.
And he's just got a little hummingbird, like little partner here.
Today I'll be drinking Topo Chico.
Can you hear that?
Tangerine.
Can you hear those hummers? This is ASMR of a hummer.
Well, there were some other parasocial plays this week.
All good ideas.
I don't know. Sometimes we go on a little run and I'm just like, I have no idea how to transition that one. I'm just going to go to the next thing.
No need. Moving on.
Yeah. Okay. So the next thing is the parasocial creature of the week. We had all these great human beings doing these parasocial plays. We also saw Dear Shandy's dog Ruby showing off a voting sticker. We saw Rob Roush doing some incredible gaze play with a Tokai gecko. But the winner of this week's parasocial creature goes to Gabby Wendy's Golden Doodle Leonardo in a hilarious Instagram wheel this week. It was a clip from her podcast. The lovable dingbat explains her thoughts on why she doesn't consider Leonardo to be her child like some pet owners do. She says he is not related to her because she smells better than him, and her dog takes direction. She takes much better direction than her dog does. This reel that features an adorable video of Leonardo has 2,778K likes and 54 comments. Congrats to Gabby and Leonardo on this extraordinary achievement. Now, let's go to that final portion of This Week in Bachelor Nation.
I am Luca's mom, though.
I feel the same way about Scobby. You know, I don't even feel like his father. I feel like his friend. I feel like he's my contemporary.
There's like certain words for like not pet owners, but like you're their guardian, or like different cultures try to describe it in different ways.
I mean, I don't even feel like that really. I give him food and water, and I just brush him a lot and like play with him and stuff. The giving of the food and water. Maybe he's not
my son. He's my boss.
I wouldn't even say that he's above me. I think we're equals. He's my twin brother.
He's your twin brother.
Yeah. He's the Lyle Menendez to my whoever the other Menendez brother was. I just watched that documentary.
Oh my God. Let's move on to our screams.
You know, I have one more thing about the Menendez documentary. Or not documentary. Before we get to the screams, the Menendez show that was on Netflix, you know the one I'm talking about, the Ryan Murphy show?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So that house where they killed the parents is like in my neighborhood, roughly. And so we were out walking.
Posting his assassination coordinates once again.
Roughly, whatever. I'm not posting the coordinates. We walk around the neighborhood sometimes for exercise. We were walking by that house. There's 25 people standing in front of it taking selfies and shit. Isn't that nuts?
Creepy.
It's like a famous house now because of that Netflix thing. People are out in front of it kind of constantly. At any rate, that was my Menendez brothers murder house story. Thank you for indulging. Now, let's drop straight to the bottom of the pit and issue forth our screams about how our fandom of reality television, specifically Bachelor Nation, has irrevocably altered who we are as people on a fundamental level, even though none of this is real. This is...
Screams from the pit!
What you got, Pace Case? Scream it.
Well, my scream, it won't surprise you, is last night. We had our Golden Bachelorette Men Tell All live watch party. And I was not sure if anyone was going to come due to the circumstances of this week.
Yep.
And due to the collective trauma. And a bunch of people showed up, and I was hoping like it will distract me if I go to this. And it did. And so this is a thank you to the pit for helping me get through these couple days.
Yeah.
By watching the Men Tell All of the Golden Bachelorette.
I too was curious about what the turnout was going to be. And I was also pleasantly surprised. And yeah, it was a moment. This is not even my scream, although mine is similar. But yeah, it was a moment for me too that was kind of like, oh yeah, the pit is a good place. Like it is a sanctuary to some degree from the hell that is going on in the world around us. For me personally.
I remember 2016 where I was, and I think now I'm going to have this for this year. I was at 33 tabs.
100%. The next 4 years, the pit is going to be instrumental for me in getting through these years. 100%. I already know that's coming. I can feel it, which leads me to my scream.
So what's your scream that's not that?
I mean, it is kind of that, but I will say this.
Yeah.
I made a medical discovery. this week that I think nobody on planet Earth knows about yet. And so feel free to use it. I found a mixture of ingredients that has healing properties.
Gruel.
No. The first ingredient is medicine, aka that sweet THC, aka that marijuana, that green herb, that sticky icky. You combine that with one of these. I have one right now that I'm drinking. It is a tangerine and ginger extract Topo Chico. And then you combine those two ingredients with one final ingredient called Love Island, and it can heal any malady. I did this combo, this concoction on Tuesday night after the election results came in because I needed to check out from this existence and go into a better one. And those three ingredients, I'm sorry to say, for whatever it was, an hour and a half, like none of this shit existed. And it was great. Yeah. Also,
so do you think I could do this with LaCroix or does it have to be Topo?
I think for me, it's Topo. For anyone else, it's whatever your Topo is. But I highly recommend trying out Topo tangerine and ginger extract. If you've never had it, you owe it to yourself. Just pick up I think they come in 10 packs, 8 packs, whatever it is. Pick one up. I picked up 5 of them on Amazon the other day because they were 50% off. Couldn't pass up that deal. Wanted to buy more. They said I had a limit. Amazon gave me a limit.
Do you want me to order you some Topo?
No, a 10 pack is like $8 or whatever. I just saw 50% off and I was like, oh shit, what a deal. I'm going to stock up for the rest of the year. I literally typed in 50 and they were like, you can only buy 5. Anyways. All right. So, we also
get your medicine now.
Yeah.
Before Clues buys it all up.
For real. You're competing with me if you're in the Topo Chico ginger and tangerine ginger extract market. As you know, if you listen to this program from time to time, we're not the only ones screaming. If you have a scream, there's a very easy way to submit it to this very program, and we play the best ones here. Here's what you have to do. You go to patreon.com/Game of Roses, join us in the bottom of the pit. One of the things you get in that membership is access to the Game of Roses Discord. And in that Discord is a channel called Submit Your Screams. You can upload in that channel a 1 minute or shorter audio or video format scream from the pit. Anya, our wonderful social media marketing director, goes through them all and finds the best ones for us. Today, we have one to play from you from someone named or username R.I. Salmaran. Are you ready to listen to this, Pace Case?
Let's go.
Here we go.
Hi, Pitt. My scream today comes in 2 parts, and the first starts a few months ago. Backstory, I was a wedding coordinator, but this past March, with the birth of my son, I transitioned out of the role into something else, but still wedding related. While still on my maternity leave, I decided to bring my son to work to meet my coworkers. It just so happened that this very wedding weekend, one all-star gaze player, Joey Grazade, and his ring winner, the Kelsey Anderson, were at and a part of the wedding I would have worked. I may or may not have taken my son home, then returned back to work in an effort to talk to them, which wasn't too successful. My real scream, however, came this week when we received a wedding video back from a couple who also married while I was on leave. It took 0.00 seconds for me to watch the ceremony to recognize the Kris Jenner lookalike officiant, as my coworker put it, as the incredible Susan Knowles. I not only audibly screamed while at work, but now I'm left wondering in the days past how I managed to manifest 3 Bachelor players to my place of work, and how do I do it again, but at a time where I am present. Praise be Joey, Kelsey, and Susan.
Wow. Now, I want to answer this question right off the top. How do you manifest something like this again? The answer is you're already doing it. This is the dark power of the pit. Once the thick tendrils of that dark power take hold, wrapping around your body and infusing with you, the power is within you. The Bachelor players will come to you. You are now a magnet to them. I don't know how long it's going to take, but I would guess not that long until you see another wedding that has some Bachelor person associated with it in some way. It is sad to note
it's
that
like
you missed
imprinting in Twilight.
What's that?
You can't stop that force.
Imprinting.
It's when the werewolf falls in love with the baby, he imprints on it to be like, you're going to be my soulmate once you grow up.
Wait
you
a
never
minute.
read Twilight?
Adult werewolves are being attracted to babies? in that book?
Mm-hmm.
I only ever watched the movies. Man, that book series sounds wild as hell. Was it Twilight?
It is odd.
Fan fiction?
It's odd. Just like
Bradford. There was something that was Twilight fan fiction that became a big book. That E.L. James book. It was called
the S&M
Grey
book.
Something about Grey.
Mr. Grey.
What was the name of that series? How can I not remember that? It was huge. I can't believe I can't remember. Anyways, I love the Scream. I think it's a high level or low level Scream, depending on your view of the pit, if you are looking up or looking down. But I think, really when your life starts being affected by Bachelor stuff that is seemingly out of your control. Mm-hmm. Look, I'll say this. I'm reading this book right now. It is by Donald D. Hoffman. It is called The Case Against Reality, How Evolution Hid the Truth from Our Eyes. In it, he gets into kind of some new quantum physics revelations that human perception, or I guess observation of any kind, really, human or otherwise, is creating reality. So what you're observing is creating what comes into your life to some degree. This is a layman's way of explaining all the ins and outs of it. But I do think, I've noticed it in my own life. Before we started doing this podcast, I had a pretty good understanding of the Bachelor world and the players and stuff. Obviously, we were watching the show together for years, but Bachelor people weren't coming into my life on a weekly basis, just like walking down the street and shit. But I'm saying I knew enough about Bachelor then to be aware of that if it had happened, and it wasn't happening. Once we started this podcast and really said, fuck it, let's like dive deep into this. And it became kind of one of the primary things I'm constantly thinking about. Bachelor players are everywhere. I'm seeing them always now. And I think that's part of this. I truly do. I think it is like a manifestation type thing. I think submitting the Scream
is part of that manifestation.
For sure.
If you listen to this one now, that'll be manifesting.
Absolutely.
I'm very happy for this update on Susan Knowles, though, that despite Gary's stain on love, she's still working.
Yeah. She's like, she has a perfect record. She's like 247,001. I don't know how many weddings she's done. Not that many, probably, but
you have to ask for an annulment, so that you don't get that on your record.
Right.
But I mean, this is a multi-level Scream. This is like Screams layered on Screams. Yeah. I guarantee you are going to have another Bachelor person come into the wedding orbit around you. It's inevitable. And there also are, there's thousands of people who have been on The Bachelor at this point. You're going to be near some of them.
Is that true? Thousands?
Especially if you're in certain cities. How many are there?
I don't know. There's 28 seasons. 25 times 25 is what? I can't do any of this math. I'm going to try and do this quickly on my phone. Hang on. We're going to get this. There are 28 seasons. I'm very curious about this now. 28 seasons of Bachelor times, let's even be generous and say 30 players. That's 840 plus 21 seasons of Bachelorette times 30. So it's 840 plus 630 is 1,470, I believe.
1,400.
Yeah. So yeah, 1.5K have been through it. Players. That's fucking wild to think about that. That's still a very small group over the course of, it's been on the air for 22 years. I mean, that's just, to me, even more evidence that Bachelor is a more difficult sport to play than any of the other sports.
Yeah. Think about how many people applied for those spots. That's harder than Harvard.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Well, thank you very much for sending in your Scream, R.I. Salmoran. We hope that you get to see some more Bachelor players at one of your wedding events very soon. And again, anybody else out there who wants to send in your Scream, just join us on patreon.com/GameRoses. Send that Scream in to our Discord channel, 1 minute or shorter, audio or video format. We appreciate it. And we appreciate you listening to our show. Like we said, we're going to have some interesting times ahead of us. And we are going to, at least I am going to, attempt to make hardcore indulgence in reality television part of my self-care routine.
I luckily have been doing that my whole life. since I watched the very first episode of The Bachelor.
Yeah. I feel like I'm about to go deeper.
It's a hardcore indulgence.
If that's possible.
I mean, you were screaming about watching that Love Island episode on election night. I was watching you watch that episode.
I know.
You know, the hardcore indulgence been indulged.
Yeah, gotta laugh so you don't cry, I suppose. But thank you, everybody, for joining us. We will continue to cover Golden Bachelorette next week in the finale and beyond. We have some interesting off-season interviews and stuff coming up in the next few months, so we hope you join us for that. And then next January, it all kicks back off. You got January 9th is Traitors Season 3. You got probably late January is Bachelor Season 29 with Grant Ellis. And by the way, that Traitors Season 3 is going to have Gabby Windey and the Wells Adams. But then you got...
I can't wait to see Gabby Windey in something again. She is so
fuck, me too.
Effing hilarious.
Me too. I think she's going to dominate. And then you've got February 14th, Love is Blind Season 8 out of Minnesota. And I don't know when the next Love Island is, but we're going to be covering that one too. That'll be my
Valentine's Day
live watch of a Love Island.
I'm so excited for the Minneapolis episode.
Yeah, I am too.
For which? Oh,
Love Island. The next Love Island. We are going to cover it, right? We will be covering it
in some way. And Clues and I are going to record a little. He just watched his first Casa Amor, so we're going to do a little Love Island update episode.
Yeah.
Shortly.
Look out for that in the next few days.
Look forward to that.
But thank you for joining us. That wraps up this week in Bachelor Nation.
Praise be Dark Lords Palmer, Lachey, Vanderpump, etc.
Maddox. Coming.
JAMA. Coming.
Harrison?
Etc. No.
I went too far. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you soon.
Please rate this podcast. Please review this podcast. Please get a friend to listen to us. And then please rate this podcast. Please review this podcast.